you said, but Gary, look at this, look at the ROAS. The ROAS was good.
Yeah.
So turn that back on. And that one product, that ad has led to 70K in sales.
What's up, everybody? It's Matt Schmitt here. I'm very excited. I love this guy I'm about to introduce, but we're doing a little interview here. It's going to be more of like a conversation. I hope to do a series of these because these are our incubator students. These are the guys that have been in the weeds with us, having a big part in building our community. Incubator, if you're not familiar, is this group that we are building, this community that we are building of all like-minded people. We're getting in. Yes, there's course content and everything like that, but more of a support, a group of people on the same path, on the same mission of achieving their version of freedom. That's one of our core values here at Skup. And that's what we want to talk about here today. I got a guy that has been doing this for several months now and it told me a target in Tampa, hits that target within a couple of months after that. So I'm super proud to talk to him today. I want to talk to you about Gary. Gary, like I said, I met him in Tampa and I'm just blown away because I think one of the defining characteristics of you, man, is you're just like me in the mindset. If you said something, you did something. And I love that about you. You didn't say, I'd really like to do 100 grand. You're like, I'm gonna do 100 grand. And I was like, all right, I believe you because of that determination that I heard in your voice and your stance and everything like that. And so when you tell me you're going to get the figures are doubling and everything like that, I believe you, man. The sky's the limit. I know your ultimate goal. You can talk about that if you wanted to, but that achievable probably a lot faster than you think because of your determination and your willingness to push through adversity. Those are the things that Devin and I can't stop talking about you when we talk about our students and stuff like that. We're like, Gary's the man. And like I talk to you about on our calls all the time, probably a little bit more than I should because I start joking around with you and hopefully you get those jokes because that's the kind of person I am. So Gary, give us a little background on yourself and tell us a little bit about your journey so far, man, before Incubator and then getting into Incubator.
Sure. I've been in computers most of my life, a technical field, technical background. I've got a lot of engineering education, no degree, no specific degree, but just an engineer's mind. I think about numbers. I think about data. I'm not so much the kind of person that thinks about the feelings and the thoughts behind stuff. It's if you can give me numbers and tell me what numbers to hit, how to hit those numbers, give me a list, I can do it.
Love it.
That's where how my background has led me to where I am today. Before Incubator, I started my journey back in the Jewelry Profits course last September. Saw a webinar that you and Devin did, and just the way you talked about business, the way you talked about building a business. There was a lot of mention about money, about the money that you can make doing this business, but it was about building the business and not just this get rich quick kind of thing.
Yep.
That really resonated with me. I figure if you talk like that in the intro when you're trying to get somebody psyched up and hyped up to join, you're going to keep doing that because that's, like you said quite a bit, what you do with one thing, you do with everything.
Exactly. Yeah.
And it just hit me really well. So I did the Profits course, didn't do too bad in Q4 last year. I way overspent on ads. I didn't listen to what you said in the course, built my hopes up on some that were okay, but marginal, but I learned a lot. Lost a little bit of money. It's okay. Heard about Incubator and thought this is really the next step for me to go from this course where it's one-sided. You're talking, I'm listening, I'm taking notes and trying to learn things, to Incubator where we're talking back and forth. I love the fact that we can get in live calls. We can ask questions. It just makes all the difference in the world to be able to give you a real life scenario of what I'm going through. You taught me how to do this, but how do I implement it properly? How do I implement it? How do I make changes? How do I change course when there's a problem? So that's what brought me into Incubator.
Yeah, no, I absolutely love that. And I think that's why we built it in the first place, right? Because there's so much knowledge is actually like, there's more knowledge that people like avoid and don't even ever see that's out there than they actually ingest, right? And one of the crucial things that I've learned on my journey is that knowledge is free most of the time, but it's implementation that's really the tough stuff that you have to get into, right? And so that's why we wanted to build this thing so that we're all in the same path. So I can hop on calls with you, or you can ping me and you have a way to access me in a way that I can actually deliver like a good response, something that you can actually utilize, right? And that's where we're trying to go with this, because that's really the key. And the reason that we do Jewelry Profits, I've always taught it like this, it's the only way I know how to learn. And so it's the only way I feel right teaching, is the business mindset and the processes and things like that, because it is so easy to go like this. Like we can all learn how to go like this really quick, and or you're going to hit it. You do it enough times, you're going to hit it. But then how do you avoid this? Because when you go up and then it's, oh man, that product was great, I got 4 or 5 sales and everything's to the moon. And all of a sudden you're learning that's not exactly how it works. And we actually got to put some other things in place. Some things maybe we can talk about here today, but that's really not only the reality of the situation in terms of how sales go for any product, also your emotions do this too, right? And that logical brain, I have a very much similar brain, which is probably why we connect a lot there. It still can creep in, and you can be like, I was telling somebody, like, if I get you to $10,000, but then all of a sudden you have a $5,000 day, you're going to think that you have failed and like the world's over, and then you might self-sabotage. And businesses do this all the time. And so we're trying to teach a way in a support system that shows you, hey man, like I had a good call with another one of the students, Jennifer, in a group the other day. And I was like, look, these are the points of deviation that you have. Let's get back to the basics. And then you'll start seeing those same results. Like it's those things that we feel like we got to do. And I don't have any data for this, but I do this. So I think that's why you're going to have a lot of success in this, because you can stick to that as much as possible. It's not going to be a perfect journey, but I know things are going to click for you as you are going. So tell us a little bit as you joined. So you went from Jewelry Profits, got into Incubator. I know we have a critical timestamp where we had a conversation, but tell us about that. And then I think you know what I'm talking about. If you don't, then we'll clarify. But then let's talk about that and then your experience after that.
Sure. Going back to Q4 of last year, like I said, I overspent.
Yeah.
So when I'm coming into the beginning of this year, working up into Valentine's Day and Mother's Day, I was panicky with some of the ads I was running that I didn't see the exact numbers I wanted to see. And I was focusing on things that ultimately that I wasn't focusing on the right things. And I got on a call with you, looked at the numbers, had you help me to refocus on what was important, what numbers should I be looking at? And we took that one ad that I probably remember very well.
Yeah.
That I thought was bad. And you said, but Gary, look at this, look at the ROAS. The ROAS was good.
Yeah.
So turn that back on. And that one product, that ad has led to 70K in sales.
Damn.
Since
That's awesome.
April 12th. I remember April 12th very distinctly.
Yeah, because it is, unfortunately, it's like a blessing and a curse, right? Like it's unfortunate that one thing can hold you back, but also at the same time, it's really cool if you start being able to identify those things, then those can be the ones that like accelerate you into $70,000 in sales, right? Because you're able to see those things. And that's maybe one of the crucial things, right? Because it's really hard for me to tell you that in a course. I might even said in the course, I'm sure I did, what focus on the ROAS, right? But for you to see it in that moment when you got the blinders on because you're so narrowed at maybe cost per purchase or something, some other metric, when there's other ones hanging out there and be like, look, man, like we teach you how to sell multiple things or buying multiple products. This is the key. This is the metric. That's why we don't have a store versus a funnel, all these things. That's awesome. So $70,000 it came in sales after that. That's pretty damn incredible. You crossed over your mark, which is, if you want to talk about it, I love the way that you shared that with the group. That was very creative. And it was on time too with Halloween.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah, my wife just bought a bag of those 100-gram bars that day.
That's good.
Just because we wanted them in the house.
Yeah, it was. I forgot to tell you too. I literally had my first 100 grand ever candy bar this Halloween after you saw that. And then I looked and I was teaching my kid about taxes and saying, this is what the government does with your money. I'm taking 30% of your candy. No, but I just took it 100 grand out of there. I had my first ever 100 grand kit. It was actually pretty damn good. So
they are.
Yeah. So I might have to get more 100 grand. Yeah, that's very cool. So yeah, the cool thing about you too, man, is that now you're in a mode of giving back to Incubator, which I think is really great. Both like just that's who you are, right? And then you're becoming one of the coaches inside of Incubator too. I hope you go forward with that because I think you do really great. But talk about that experience too, because that's part of the key part of Incubator too, right? Like we want people to take the initiative that you had of you were just doing it, right? And then we were like, maybe this is because you're helping us build this up. So we formalized it a little bit, but you were just giving back. Did that help give you being in Incubator and then looking at people through the lens that I've been looking at? is that helped you along in your journey too? Because now you're seeing how you would handle a move and how that, so you're on the other side of the coin a little bit. Has that helped you along your journey as well?
Oh, absolutely. I
Yeah.
mean, my whole life, every time I've had the task to teach somebody something or to try to help somebody with something, I've learned a lot more out of it. You don't realize how little you know about something until you try to explain it to somebody else.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Once you
Yeah.
can explain it, though, you know you've mastered it, or at least
Yep.
you're on your way to mastering it.
Yeah. So that's cool. So I just to reiterate, like one of the crucial things about Incubator is that it's a community where people are helping each other along in this journey. And that gives you the opportunity to see something from another lens. That's impossible if you're just in a course. You're just looking at me talk on my slides, my basically script at that point, right? Because it's just what I say. You get this opportunity to do that in this group. And that's one of the crucial things that helped me so much. I 100% think that I'm way further than I would have been without doing what I've been doing for upwards of 5-6 years now. And it's great to see you do it too. That's one thing we had a conversation with. I was like, don't let this take up too much of your time, focus on your business because you'll be able to help people more, but you balance that really well. So I'm proud of you on that one too. So yeah, one of the crucial things is for people inside of Incubator that may watch this and people that are considering Incubator, do you have any kind of like real message for them about the value that you've gotten out of this thus?
There's a monetary value, absolutely. Cost of Incubator versus the 70K from that one product based on one conversation you and I had. That makes it completely obvious to me. But it's more than just the money. It's truly, like you're saying, a community. If I can get in there and meet with other people, take myself out of this silo that you build as an entrepreneur, out of that silo and be able to talk to other people about some of the stupid things that happen during your day that other people can say, yeah, I had the same thing happen to me. Here's how I dealt with it. It's so much easier than sitting back all by yourself and wondering how in the world am I going to overcome whatever this stupid little thing is. And it could
Yeah.
be like the most insignificant thing, but it ruins your day.
Yeah.
So being an
Yeah.
incubator has really given me the opportunity to do that. My wife is extremely supportive of the business. She loves
That's
it that
great.
I'm doing it, but she doesn't know anything about it. And I don't care if she does because she doesn't need to. So I've got however many people are in incubator, however many people are in the Facebook group, sit back and say, hey, how you guys doing today? So it's kind of nice.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, no, I feel you on that. My wife, we've been married for 10 years, we've been married for 10 years, together for 13 years. I've been doing this business for 10 years, some form of this business. I don't know if my wife really knows what I do, but
Yeah.
super supportive. I got best friends that have just really no idea what I do for a living. And then I just appear places or go to places and like, I don't know what Matt does. I think he has a business. I don't know, sells shirts or something. And but that's 100%, man. I think that's super valuable for what people just heard there is they don't have to. It's not my wife's like responsibility or job or obligation to understand what I'm doing for a living, right? When she was an occupational therapist, I know in concept what that means. I don't know the details of what that means, but I don't have to because that's not the wife is there to, or the spouse is there to support you in that mission. They know that you're that passionate, but just to be able to relate. We just did it based off of, I'm from St. Louis, you're from Atlanta, kind of a similar kind of city, right? That's puts you, or like football teams or their sports teams. That's that group and that community feel, being able to relate to somebody in the same mindset is super critical for your career because otherwise, look at me. I'm in a room, there's shades on those windows because my kids are always trying to peek in and open up the doors and can feel a little siloed a little once in a while. So it is important to breach these figurative walls and get out, do Zoom calls like this. We almost have a mandatory call. I'm trying to get everybody to have their camera on every single time we have a call to see some faces, see some reactions, mostly for myself. No, I'm just kidding. That's great, man. I really do appreciate it. So the only question I have left is the canned question of, do you think Incubator is worth the investment, the financial investment?
Oh, absolutely. There's never been an investment that I've made that has had a return like Incubator has.
That's awesome.
70,000. This is just so far, Matt. So far, 70K from one
Oh yeah.
call that you and I did.
Yeah. The goal, what you said to me was the 100 grand. And then B, it was saying you want a retirement income business.
Yep.
There's a business that you could retire. And dude, like I said, like the way you said it, I'll tell you this. I'm just like that, obviously, because of that. But I don't respond well to that. And I honestly remember that because I remember I was sitting down at the head of the table. You were on my right and you're like, I'm going to hit 100 grand. I'm like, I know that tone. I know that, I know that mindset. he's going to do it. And then I think we talked about in the round table, right? These intimate like incubator groups once in a while in person. And that's when you were talking about your retirement income, and you said it in the exact same way. So I'm 100% confident that you will be able to do it. We are here to build a business for you, not a get rich quick schemes. We want you to have those processes and things in place. So yeah, like you said, 70 grand is just the beginning for you, man. Literally the sky's the limit on you. I think it's just only going to get more exciting as time goes on. Look what you did it too, right? You're doing it, and you did 70 grand in like the weirdest economic time too, like the most uncertainty, weird time too, these last couple of months. And once we get things rocking and rolling for you, dude, you're going to be sprinting into the future, not just hobbling around like everybody else too. So I'm super proud of you, man. You're an extreme asset into the incubator group. I really do appreciate your hard work and effort. And I've learned a lot from you as well, man. So that's the best part of this group is I'm constantly getting as much out of the students as they're hopefully getting out of me. And we're all building this together. So I really appreciate your time. Do you have anything else for anybody out there?
Keep an eye out for my 200 grand.
What's that?
Keep an eye out for my 200 grand.
Yeah,
That's
the
gonna
2
be coming
candy
up
bars,
soon.
man. Yeah. The king size bar, right? Or something like that. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Very cool. Shit, man. You could probably do in the next couple of months it'd be one up. I'm gonna put a target on your back right now. I'm gonna say no later than Valentine's Day next year. I'm gonna be looking out for that. So
I'm not giving myself that much slack. December 31st is my.
There you go. That's it. My job as a coach just worked. It just cut a whole timeline, a whole month off your timeline there. So I love it, dude. All right, man. Thank you for your time, and I'll talk to you soon. All right.
Matt.
Take
Thanks
care.
for having me.